to wipe off any excess. No retraction, no layer change, no tool change because we don't have multiple tools. 104 to shut off the extruder. X0, Y140, F1000. Prepare part for removal. So X0 means it's going to home the X. Yeah, we'll see about that. M84 to disable the motors. Speed 40. We're going to crank that up on the first print. I want to see how fast we can go. Okay. Let's find, what should we print off Thingiverse? What's a quick print? Because this thing's out of...
Hey guys, so I'm watching Matt, how do you do it stream,
right,
and then
what do you guys think we should?
I'm working on my printer, so I thought I would stream. So
something quick, something
I'm
simple.
trying to hijack as many streams as possible. So let me pop out the chat, and then I can at least
a speed test.
Let me close that page. Oh my god, I got Twitter going on. Let's see. Facebook, let me... Got too many social medias. Okay. Cool. So, hey, Renaissance Tinker Dork, I've seen you maybe at Earth? I'm not sure. Anyway, hey Jessica Ryan. Anyway, so this is the JGAurora A5. I bought it from, what do you call it? And,
Marvin is quicker than
AliExpress, I think. No, Banggood. I think I got it from Banggood because it was on the US.
I don't know, something different.
And it saved me a lot in
quick.
shipping, so I got it for under $400 US. And
We could do
I got it because I was recommending it. I saw what's his name from Devin from Make Anything. He did a really good review on it, and he was like raving about it. So I was like, okay, I want to get like a CR10 type machine, but I don't really want to get the CR10. So and this one looks really nice. It's definitely not without faults. So unlike most Chinese printers, they're pretty terrible with manual leveling, and I don't know why anybody would use manual leveling anymore. I use it for like a Mendel 90 that I built, and like even that I wanted to switch over to a BLTouch. So
wave is the separate item. Too bad I have a blue bench.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm trying to match faces to you know, their usernames. So
do a bearing.
Anyway, so I'm basically modding this for a friend who is buying the printer off of me. So I'm basically giving him a free upgrade review.
Okay, let's do that.
And his agreement is that he's going to let me kind of take it and play with it and do a review and do some, just to play with it basically. And then he's going to buy it off me. So, because I really don't need another printer. I really don't need another Chinese printer.
Let's like
these are, I mean, it's, okay. I do give him credit. A 300mm bed square cubed is actually really nice. But I mean, the Artemis is really more than enough that I need. Like the Artemis
first thing you should do
is definitely my go-to printer,
which is thing number
and my Prusa as well. My Prusa is actually a little bit more portable and more practical. Again, because of the auto leveling and just the reliability. So this thing isn't really reliable, and 90% of it's because of the auto leveling. So I don't know. So I'm using a knockoff BLTouch, and I have a real BLTouch at home, but I just thought since I'm giving it to the guy, as long as it works, right? And I totally am down for what Paris and the Ant Labs team does.
Hey, Walter's here now. We
so
can.
I'd like to support them. But this was free, and so I'm trying to basically upgrade this printer for basically no money.
Let's see.
No more than the $400 originally.
Mr. Belly
Spent on it.
So right now he's 96 millimeters tall.
So the huge problem with this printer is that the base has all the electronics. So I don't know how this is going to work. The other thing I don't know is that I only have this much ribbon cable, and I have to reach the electronics inside.
How long does it usually take?
I might not just even get to the BLTouch today, but I'll solder all the things that I need to make it work and turn on. And then I'll probably do another stream when I get home and able to extend the wires. Basically, I'm going to have to splice all of this and then connect and then solder these two connectors, but I don't think I have enough wires, so I'm going to have to get more wire. I do have enough. I do have some wire in my bag, my tool bag, but it's a higher gauge, and so
2 perimeters.
It might just be too bulky. And then I have some heat shrink, and I have a soldering iron. So I'm probably gonna, as much as I can do in a hotel room without any supplies, I'm gonna try to get it running. So,
all right, let's see what that does.
Okay. The other big benefit of this mod, and I put it in the description. It's a guy in Thingiverse. Let me give him some attribution here. Das Witty, DAS_Witty, WIDDY. He made a combination whip tube mount / cooling fan / BLTouch adapter for the BLTouch or for the JGAurora A5. And the biggest thing that's nice about this is that he made it super integrated so that this thing doesn't lose any Z clearance. It doesn't. I don't have to remove this front bar here to make it work. It nicely it's really well designed. Like I'm able to zip tie everything here, put the bundle on here. It holds the fan. It has a nice shroud for the hot end fan.
Should we try to crank this thing?
It has an integrated channel for the fan, and then it works with the existing the existing JGAurora fan blower shroud. So I could even I can change this to a standard like Fang style with the two wrapping around it. You know, I mean, this is a pretty decent print, but it looks like it was printed on this printer. It's kind of hairy and kind of ugly.
2
but,
perimeters.
I mean,
3 bottom.
It also comes with like the most bizarre selection of metric screws I've ever seen. Like 2mm screws that are super tiny, and they're different colors and they're different heads. They're not all cap heads. Some of them are cap heads, some are not. The whole frame is put together with these tiny little M3 screws. They're not even M3. I think they're smaller than that. But and they I don't know. Just everything's so small. Like I'm so used to printers that have M3 or M4s that are really beefy.
I got 2 yeses. The worst thing it's going to do is fail, so we'll do that. 100 millimeters a second. Let's see how fast that'll print. 18 minutes.
There's a little bit of
my bet is
crap in here.
30 minutes. Hi, Regina. I will tell Jen you said hi. She might be back from the store.
It's styrofoam.
She had to go pick something up for the Tooth Fairy because Dixie lost her first tooth. And Tooth Fairy.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just running.
To pick something up from the store.
The whip is really long on this thing. Or the cable chain is really long on this thing. So I'm just
but if she's back from the store, I'm sure
I just took some ribbon cable and
hiding in the stream
5 conductor ribbon cable or 5 wire ribbon cable, and I'm shoving it into this tube to the base.
The Benchy's looking good so far. Okay,
so the tube stops in the bottom here.
Mr. Belly from 3D Print Iceland.
And there's 3 zip ties that hold it to the chassis.
And, or not printed. Sliced up, ready to go, ready to save to the SD card as soon as this is done printing.
So, this is a zip tie nightmare if you've ever messed with cable wire management. I'm going to run the cable down here. And then probably what I'm going to have to do is come down here and splice these wires, solder extensions, run them into the base, there's not really a hole or any access port to the base, so I'm either gonna have to run them underneath to a channel and zip tie them, or I don't want to drill a hole in the side of the frame. I also don't want to run the cables over under here because the bed actually, like, there's a slot in the top chassis and bottom chassis that where the bearings that hold the bed go, and belt tensioner, and I really haven't actually taken this base apart, so I don't know what, I don't even know how to take this base apart, so I might be Googling that. The other cool thing with the blower, so these are on Amazon. I think they're like 15 bucks for two. Probably expensive, but the big thing on this is that it's a 24 volt system. It's not a 12 volt system, so I had to make sure you get a 24 volt fan or a step down converter.
Not watching this, but subscribe to.
But it's nice. It just puts right here, like the Freesa, and
hit
blower fan just sticks here, and you
give
put one single screw right here, and it mounts it.
It's getting pushed to 1,000.
It's so cool.
Did you guys see that?
These are the screws, the M3 screws that hold the power supply or the hot end fan on here. But actually, the hot end fan seems to just hold itself in the little plastic holder, so I don't even need a screw for the hot end fan. But this screw, for now, I'm going to use to hold it. It's not going to be long enough, and I have M3 screws with me. So really, I could just tape this on here. Actually, you know what? Let me zip tie it. So I got some white zip ties.
That didn't do too bad until it broke loose.
Let me do that.
Wait a second. What's that say?
Add a zip tie.
CT3D.xyz.com.
It's not gonna be secure, but
it's supposed to say Benchy on the bottom.
Actually, that would work fine.
Hold on, let me go get my other Benchy that printed solid print.
Whoever designed this is an engineer, though, because he added slots and adjustable screw positions for the BLTouch mount, and
I don't know where that's at.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, you're right. So there's.
Well, here's the chicken and egg problem, right? Because I printed the separate bracket that actually holds the BLTouch, and it mounts on here. Right. But I don't have. I left it at home, and I'm in a hotel room.
Was printing like this,
so ideally, I can get this back up and running, print the bracket for it, and then mount the BLTouch.
Was it CT3D.xyz? Okay.
Oh, sorry, I just saw this, Jessica Ryan.
Never printed Benchies. Except for one.
Had to do some work on the printer, and now I'm getting off some print stuff. GT Tech.
So we get the memory card reader in.
Pro.
Let's save this to
what's
the memory
what's
card.
the difference between the Pro B and the
Mr.
A?
Belly.
There's two different models.
Okay.
They're all i3 clones, and they're using like the older style rep stuff. Like they are all using the same 8-bit Arduino style, like RAM style controller. They're using the same like same like hot end. They're at least they're trying to go with the all metal hot ends, but they're not really all metal. This PTFE tube goes. I'm thinking down to a heat break, and then the heat break's screwed into this giant aluminum block. And the aluminum block is the entire carriage. Like the carriage and the aluminum block are all one solid aluminum piece, which is crazy to me that this whole thing was machined out of a solid piece of aluminum for a $400 printer. But yeah, like most of them are just like the CR10 uses some kind of hybrid like E3D style metal hot end. That's not really a metal hot end. I don't know. I played with the CR10 for a little bit, just getting it to work, and it had a clogged nozzle. But I was like wondering why it wasn't feeding at all, and I checked the whole thing apart basically, or the whole hot end assembly apart. The fan was broken. I don't know what the guy did. He replaced the heater block with an actual genuine E3D heater block, but kept the standard heatsink. And it looked like the standard, like the stock heat break, but he put the E3D block, heater block on it with the heater cartridge and a thermistor. So I don't know why you didn't just put the entire like E3D hot ends like mounted to a CR10 instead of having it kind of have, you know, combine them like I'm Frankenstein. I don't know. Not my thing, but you know.
Well, I mean, before it does that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like representing kind of like I don't know. So most of my printers are. I actually have a really varied mix of printers. My first 3D printer was a MakerBot Cupcake CNC back in 2011.
I think you can change that.
My second printer was I never got it to work. It was a Rich Wrap 3DR. It was a Rostock style Delta printer that was mostly printed, and it would have worked well if I would have known anything about Delta printers. I got really frustrated and ended up buying parts to build in Mendel 90 when that was available. Chris Palmer over in the UK, he's goes by Knophead, and he actually designed the
I think my bed could be just a little bit closer.
He was the one that designed it, the Mendel 90. It was a great design. It uses a dye bond aluminum composite material, and but he cuts that out of a sheet of material in CNC cutter, and then it's a lot of it just 3D printed parts, like a standard rep wrap. And then I put an E3D hot end. I used like a Panucat Aztec controller. So I used a bunch of genuine parts, and then I try to source as much from the U.S. as I could, because I like supporting the U.S.-based companies.
Hey, Fernando.
Then I got I got an.
That was your wife that won the role of Protopasta.
What did I get next?
Right?
Oh, it was the
CNC
Eris, and that is currently what's on my backpack printer. I haven't done a video on the backpack printer yet, unfortunately.
Walter's not on to shout it out.
Anyway, so backpack printer that came later, and then I got a Prusa Mark II because everybody was reviewing it. Tom's channel, he built one live about 2 years ago, and I was in love, and then so I built one. And then I actually had a build class where I had 6 other people build one, scale. And I guided them through the whole build process.
Although the no part fan is obvious at this point. I'm going to slow that down a little bit.
Anyway.
I think 100 millimeters a second.
They use blue grease on their rails. At least they grease their Z-rods. Like, some places don't even, like, they're probably
it looks a lot
dry, like, no lube. Not good at all. I'm really impressed with mechanically, like, what they were able to do on this printer for $400.
A pretty big fan
it's really well designed. Then I got to so CNC Eris. I did the Prusa Mark II. I ended up giving away / selling the Rich Wrap 3DR to a friend, and then ended up giving him the Mendel 90 in exchange for the Rich Wrap 3DR because I knew he wasn't going to finish it because it wasn't in working condition, so I felt bad. So I gave him the Mendel 90.
I was playing with Kuro.
And then I bought...
right around Earth. I guess it was the night before.
So, and then Christmas last year I bought... on Black Friday, I bought
retraction,
both
default settings for retraction, definitely
Monopress Mini V2 because it was $150, and I bought the CNC Artemis. The Artemis was kind of an impulse buy, but it was like they were teasing it for like a month or two before it came out, and I was on the CNC group, and I really liked that group, and I really like CNC. And
that thing is tiny. You guys have no idea.
I was really impressed with the teasers that they showed of the Artemis. I knew that it was going to be like the best Delta printer available, and I have to say that it is the best Delta printer available right now. So anyway, okay, cool. You is who? Hey, you is who? Yeah, I remember you from Earth and Murph and Oh yeah, you have the Artemis. That's right. Yeah, cool. I'm glad you were building it there. Like, I hope you love it. I've had a little bit of issues with it, but I haven't done any videos on it because really, it's not a good representation of what CMCNC is building. Oh yeah, the CMCNC tour is amazing. They have like so much space. I don't even think they know what to do with it. Oh, cool. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, for a while. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, they're local for you though, so yeah, I'm sure Steve would do anything to get that thing up and running. But Jessica Ryan, so E3D V6 hot end and a TMC 2130 stepper driver. So the 2130 stepper driver, I'm not sure all the Trinamic like code names, but there's a guy on YouTube that goes through the upgrading the JGAurora, and he makes really good videos. I'll have to find who he is. But anyway, he's done a TMC upgrade on this, including the serial control from the controller board to the driver chip, so you can do all the the real-time upgrade. I don't even know how that works, but anyway, it's really nice. Oh, we keep playing. Oh, what do you mean keep playing with the code? Like, are you just playing with the parameters or like the G code stuff? Because I'm running like bone stock duet firmware. Like I'm doing whatever. I'm running exactly how CMCNC has it out of the box. The only upgrade I've done to the Artemis is adding Capricorn button tubes.
That thing is tiny. It's actually doing really well for the.
I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like the Capricorn button tubes really helped the Eris, and it really helped the Artemis. And I also am using it as the inner tube for my Prusa Mark II, and it seems to be okay. I haven't had problems, but yeah, I don't know if I remember that, but they did kind of change some colors up on us when they first released them, and I hope they fixed that since then, because they really need to have standardized colors.
Are you doing it for any of the YouTube channels, or are you doing one for something else?
Oh God. So mine had the reversing home problem on one of the towers, and like they sent me 2 duet. Actually, I'm on my 3rd duet board because they thought it was an issue with the driver chips being fried because of a bad crimp. And really, I just like one time I unplugged it, plugged it back in, and it worked. Then this last time that I had the cabinet open, and it did it for no reason. I didn't even touch the stepper drivers. I thought they like backfed I thought it backfed the motors and fried the motor driver, and I was really upset. Then I was like, I remember Steve saying that the crimps were bad on the first like Artemises. So I basically just cut and recrimped all the KK connectors. Actually, I just crimped and stripped and crimped another connector on the Z-axis tower, the Z tower, and did it again. It worked. So it's been working since then. So I think it was just a bad crimp on the Z-axis. Oh, okay, yeah. Deltas are bizarre. Like, they're bizarre, but I love them. Like, I'm a big fan of Delta printers, and it's mainly just because they look cool. It's not really that I get any speed benefit out of it. Because, I mean, I could build a Cartesian machine that's fast. It's just, I don't know. I think there's some benefits. For me, the stationary bed, having a bed that you can I don't know. The way that it forms the part, I don't know. The arms moving, and the fact that the frame is just 3 towers, essentially. You don't have to worry about, moving gantries. You don't have to move. Like, nothing's moving except the effector. You can really concentrate your design efforts onto making a very simplistic, effector and an arm setup and towers.
You guys can't
so I've kind of told some people in the community, but I'm planning on building a Delta printer from scratch. I'm planning on designing a rep wrap that's going to be fully rep wrap, open source hardware compliant, I'm going to start a GitHub pretty soon. I'm going to design everything. My
goal
is to design everything in Fusion 360.
It seems to be handled.
It's going to have CNC routed parts. So I'm going to probably develop a kit that I want to sell. I want to be able to sell the kit by next Smurf. That's my goal. So I don't really have that much time to work on it, but I started kind of doing a concept design, and I realized how much work developing a 3D printer kit is going to be. So I'm going to at least design it to be where I can make one prototype, release the source code, and then have a couple beta testers, people that are willing to. I'll send them the parts, the CNC parts, the stuff that they can't get normally, and then I'll let them build it with their own electronics. I'm planning on using the Mosquito hot end because I got the Mosquito hot end. Planning on using the Duet. I'm planning on using a BLTouch or an IR sensor. I want to do active bed leveling, which is kind of fun. Basically, I want to have 3 stepper motors in 3 points of the plate, and I want it to actively adjust itself in level. Because on a Delta printer, you really are adjusting the offsets, right? And it really doesn't make sense to actually move the plate when you have a Delta printer. The Delta printer is constantly adjusting itself. So, I mean, active bed leveling with stepper motors is kind of overkill. Really, what I'm going to do is probably put a BLTouch, and that's why I think the BLTouch is the best solution, because the FSRs, you have to make sure that the bed is floating on the FSR pads, and then the other option is the strain relief one, where you actually have the what CBCNC does now, where the nozzle actually touches, and up here where the hot end's mounted flexes slightly, and it can detect a flex. You can also do this with a piezoelectric element. To me it complicates the effector, and it has to be integrated in the effector, so that in order for a standard person to make it work, they'd have to do a custom thing. So what I want to do is something off the shelf, and I think the BLTouch or the IR probe from Duet, or what's his name that works for Duet, or I don't know, but he basically has an IR probe that's like this big. The problem with IR is that it has to have a reflective surface, an IR reflective surface, so you can't just use any bed surface, and I want to be able to use flex plates, PEI, anything. So I don't know. There's a couple options out there, but my goal with this printer is 200mm build plate, 200mm height, so 200 cylinder by 200. The whole printer is going to be probably about 500mm, 500 to 600mm tall, and it's going to be about 250 wide. 250 to 260 wide. The idea is that it can,
in 14 minutes of print time.
It can, the goal is that I can build it so that I can put on my back and make another version of the backpack printer. The other goal of it is that it's a nice, it's a perfect like desktop, like sit on your desk size, and then with a Duet, I can make it quiet enough that you can just run on your desk. I'm going to put Noctua fans. I'm going to make sure that it's super quiet, and also the big goal of it is that it's going to print as well, if not better, than the Artemis. I want it to print. I basically want to get like Railcore to like print quality out of this thing, and I want it to be a small Delta printer, because there's not a lot of small Delta printers that I know that are like really good professional. The only one I know that I actually would probably consider is the I think there's the Delta Printer Go. There's obviously the Aris, the Orion, and the H2. There's also
Matter Hackers nylon, not the nylon edge,
Delta Printer Go, and there's a couple other ones, the Chinese printers, the Monoprice Mini Delta. But the Monoprice Mini Delta is kind of too small. Like an 80mm diameter plate is like ridiculous.
Last 2 days
so
appears,
anyway,
kind of horrible.
I digress. I'm working on this, and
but I ordered some of
okay, it got really cold in this room.
Pro Series nylon in red and blue, and I'm printing vintage boat logos from my boss, actually. And instead of printing the manufacturer name for replacements, we're doing the name of the boat and doing it colors of the boat, which is red and blue. So I'm interested to see when that gets here. Haven't used the Matter Hackers nylon before, but because of being around the water and
I turned
outside a lot, using nylon instead of PLA or ABS or even the HTPLA probably would do all right from Protopasta, but this should hopefully hold its collar a little bit better.
Wow, our fridge. Can you send me a picture of it? You have me on Twitter, right? Yeah, send me a PM me on Twitter at the Mitch22 if that fridge design, because I want to see that. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is kind of flaky, especially when it's in. Yeah, so MKS base 1.5V. I'm not familiar with the Chinese MKS boards. Oh, cool! I want to see that video. Yeah, that'd be great. Dual screen. Why dual screen?
92%, 18 minutes. So simplifies off a little bit.
Okay, I mean,
not as much as it is on my
I'm not really sure what you're doing, but the build I'm doing, the Delta printer build I'm doing, I really just want to use I just want to use a duet Wi-Fi. Like, I think that is, like, to me, the de facto printer board right now. What I might consider doing, and I'm not sure if I want to support M3D, but the Duet Maestro is a great solution because it's a $99 board with pretty much everything except for like lower current drivers and some other stuff that's stripped away. But like, I don't know. I really want to support Duet and what they do, and I don't know. Like, to me, this Delta printer is not a cost savings kind of Delta printer. Like, I want to design it so it's modular. Like, if you want to use an E3D hot end on the manufacturer, you can. But I want to use the Mosquito hot end.
Hey, Brian Vines.
Yeah, the Mosquito by Slice Engineering, because I got one at Earth, and it's just crazy. It's like, the heat sink's like that big. The heater block, like the whole thing is maybe 25 millimeters.
I see we're up to
it's
11
probably
thumbs up. Appreciate it.
The whole hot end like
thumbs
is
up are welcome.